with me, Maria Shakil. The campaign trail on the road to Karnataka elections continues to heat up. But the war of words has hit a new low. After calling the Prime Minister Ravan ahead of the Gujarat elections, Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge has sparked another row, calling the Prime Minister a poisonous snake during a rally in Kalaburagi. The BJP continues to rain fire on the Congress chief, accusing the party of making frustrated attacks due to its failure to beat the BJP in the election arena, even calling the controversy a turning point in these elections. This prompted the Congress chief to issue a clarification, saying he meant to say that the BJP's ideology was like a poisonous snake, adding that it was not a direct attack against the Prime Minister. But the BJP was not having it. With many union ministers, including Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and others, and BJP Karnataka in charge Dharmendra Pradhan, all of them came out all guns blazing, accusing the Congress president of trying to wriggle out of the political storm. In fact, many Congress leaders, including Mallikarjun Kharge's son, Congress leader Priyank Kharge, are doubling down on the statement. Priyank Kharge said on Twitter that a person who destroys the constitution and divides society along communal lines will be called poisonous. Now, time and again, whenever the Congress has taken a direct shot at the Prime Minister, it has always helped the BJP politically, as Prime Minister Modi and the BJP have effectively converted that narrative in their favor. Similar to the elections in the past, has the Congress kicked a self-goal in Karnataka? This also comes as the Congress is under fire after former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah promised to end the 50% cap on quotas, increasing it further to 75% depending on population. The BJP has accused the Congress of desperation after sensing defeat. With the elections around the corner, is the Congress now on the back foot?
ಇದು ವಿಷಯ ಅದ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋಣ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೆಕ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ನೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿರಿ ನೆಕ್ಕರು ಸತ್ತ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು ವಿಷಯ ಅದಾನೋ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮೋದಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಣ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಮಂತ್ರಿ.
There is a poison in the mind of Kharge.
अभी देश में कानून है 50 से ज्यादा नहीं होना. सिद्धरामैया किधर से दे देंगे? किधर से? उसका पॉकेट से दे देंगे क्या?
Being on the back foot and after the storm, Mr. Kharge has released a statement. The Congress chief says that, and I quote him, "If my words have hurt anyone, I will express regret." But has the damage been done? Pallavi Ghosh is joining me on the phone line.
The damage certainly has been done, and it also the fact that the Congress party has issued a clarification and Mr. Kharge himself has issued a clarification and in a sense apologizes. Just goes on to show, Maria, that they understood and rather they were apprehensive about the kind of impact his comments would have had. Initially the reaction of the Congress party was that, so what happens? It happens during elections. And he never said anything about one particular person. They said about ideology. But as the Prime Minister is set to begin his campaign over here in Karnataka in 2 days' time, and it's going to be a blitzkrieg by the Prime Minister, clearly the Congress party doesn't want to take any chances. Until now, Maria, the campaign of the Congress has been very measured, has been very aggressive. They don't want to lose out on that opportunity. They don't want to derail the campaign. And therefore, I think they decided it's better that he kind of retracts and apologizes so as not to give that advantage to the BJP.
All right, let me see how the BJP is taking that. Thank you so much. Sanju Verma, BJP National Spokesperson, is joining me. Bhavya is Karnataka Congress Spokesperson. We have GB Patil, National General Secretary of Lingayat Mahasabha, and Rahul Verma, a fellow of CPR. I'm going to begin with you, Sanju Verma. With the Congress chief expressing regret is this entire issue of the political landscape of Karnataka?
You know, Maria, I think in the last couple of days, the BJP on-ground reports suggest has gained considerable momentum. And I've even tweeted on this particular issue by Mr. Kharge. And, you know, I hate to use vile language on your show, but, you know, the current incumbent Congress president calling the most popular leader of, the globe and the duly elected Prime Minister of India a poisonous snake or whatever. I mean, it beats my imagination. Has the Congress top brass been reduced to trolls? You know, we can understand that, there is, a lot of heartburn given that the Congress has lost 50 out of the 54 elections in the last 9 years under the aegis of Rahul Gandhi, and now Mr. Kharge is doing no better. But my simple point is this: how is it that the Congress always has this foot in the mouth approach, and then there is one section which plays good cop and one section which plays bad cop? If I can just take you back without being too verbose to as recently as December 2022, a senior Congress leader from Madhya Pradesh, Rajesh Pateria, he clearly said, Modi ko marna hoga. Modi ko maroge tabhi samvidhan bachega. And when he was questioned, he said, oh, I did not mean that Prime Minister Modi should be assassinated. What I meant was that we should kill Modi and RSS ideology. Ditto we saw a couple of weeks back, senior Congress leader from Punjab, Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa, saying, जब तक मोदी को मारा नहीं जाएगा, हिंदुस्तान खतरे में है. And when questioned, Rahul Gandhi completely, feigned ignorance. So basically, I want to ask Rahul Gandhi, is Mr. Kharge doing what he's doing, saying what he's saying, with the complete blessings of Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra? Because I would like to believe that Kharge cannot open his mouth and be so vile without blessings of the dynasty.
Okay, Bhavya, the point being made here is, if you look at election after election, December 2007, Sonia Gandhi says, Maut ka saudagar, BJP comes back to power, winning 117 of the 182 seats it's contested. The vote that is polled by the party is 49.12. Then it is Manishankar Iyer's Chai Wala Jibe. We know what happened in 2014 elections. Then Khoon Ki Dalali remark. We know what happened after that. 324 of the 403 seats, the BJP won with a 2/3 majority. Neech comment, we know what has happened. Every time there has been a personal attack against the Prime Minister, it has backfired. Doesn't the Congress chief know about it?
So here, the Congress chief has already given a clarification that he meant the ideology of Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. One. After that, he has even said, if this has hurt anyone's sentiment, then he is sorry about it. Most importantly, why they're using this issue and blowing it out of proportion, there are 3 reasons. One, they cannot digest the fact that a Dalit leader who started as a bloc president reached the topmost position in the Congress party at the national level. One, that's the reason they keep targeting Mallikarjun Kharge. Second one, there are 2 things that happened yesterday, just yesterday. First, Mr. Amit Shah...
I'm going to come back to you. We have the big newsmaker joining me straight from Bengaluru. Dharmendra Pradhan, Union Minister, Chief Strategist of the BJP and Karnataka BJP in charge, is joining me live. Mr. Pradhan, really appreciate your time. कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष खड़गे ने अपने विवादित बयान के लिए माफी मांग ली है. मुझे आपसे ये जानना है, आप इस माफी को किस तरह देखते हैं और इस बयान पर आपकी क्या टिप्पणी है?
देखिए, हमारी एक उड़िया में कहावत है, पहले लात मारो फिर बाद में माफी मांग लो, विष्णु कह के माफी मांग लो. देखिए, विषय माफी मांगना महत्व नहीं है या कहना महत्व नहीं है, किसने कहा और क्यों कहा ये महत्व है. आदरणीय खड़गे जी देश की एक कद्दावर नेता है, इस प्रदेश से आते हैं, उनका ये गृह प्रदेश है, कांग्रेस पार्टी की राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष है, राज्यसभा में नेता प्रतिपक्ष है. हम जितना सामाजिक जीवन में दिखते हैं, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी खड़गे जी को बहुत व्यक्तिगत रूप में बड़ा सम्मान करते हैं, आदर करते हैं. कभी सार्वजनिक कार्यक्रमों में मिले या राज्यसभा में संवाद करते हुए, वितर्क करते हुए मिले, या निजी तरीके में कभी अनौपचारिक मिलना जुलना होता है। तो हम देखे हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी खड़गे जी को कितना आदर करते हैं। सामाजिक जीवन में सबको अपनी मर्यादा और सबकी अपने लक्ष्मण रेखा में रहनी चाहिए, भाषा पे भी रहनी चाहिए। देश की प्रधानमंत्री जी को इस प्रकार की शब्द कहना, हमें जो लगा मूलतः खड़गे जी की कुछ राजनीतिक मजबूरियां रही होगी। खड़गे जी कोई दबाव में रहे होंगे, खड़गे जी के कंधे को किसी ने यूज किया होगा, क्योंकि जिस पार्टी को प्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं, नेतृत्व करते हैं, उस पार्टी की सर्वोच्च स्तर से लेके नीचे तक कभी किसी ने कहा यह मौत का सौदागर है प्रधानमंत्री जी को लेके, किसी ने कहा तो आना चाहिए हमारी एआईसीसी अधिवेशन के सामने चाय के दुकान खोले, हम उनको लैंड दे देंगे। किसी ने कहा ये तो गट्टर की कीड़ा है, किसी ने कहा मोदी तेरा कब्र खुदेंगे। ये सार्वजनिक जीवन की भाषा नहीं हो सकती है। जिस व्यक्ति को देश के गरीबों ने, देश की दलितों ने, देश की आदिवासियों ने, महिलाओं ने, युवाओं ने आस्था प्रकट किया है, विश्वास प्रकट किया है, सार्वजनिक रूप में आपकी विरोध हो सकता है, हमारी नीतियों के ऊपर आलोचना हो सकती है, आप करिए, ये तो चुनाव की एक अवसर है, आप हमको आलोचना कर सकते हो। लेकिन आप दबाव में आके खड़गे जी, आपकी राजनीतिक अक्काओं के दबाव में आके उनकी भाषा को कहोगे, मौत के सौदागर वाला भाषा कहोगे, कब्र खुदेंगे वाला भाषा कहोगे, ये आपसे अपेक्षा नहीं है। इसको हम बड़ा विचित्र हमको लगा कि खड़गे जी जैसे व्यक्ति ऐसे कैसे कहें।
धर्मेंद्र जी, तो आप जो बोल रहे हैं वो किसके दबाव में आए हैं? क्योंकि अगर हम देखें, जो आपने बोला मौत का सौदागर वाला कमेंट, वो सोनिया गांधी ने कहा था, चाय वाला मणिशंकर अय्यर ने कहा है, राहुल गांधी ने खून की दलाली का बयान दिया था, और नीच कमेंट फिर मणिशंकर अय्यर का है। तो किसके दबाव में खड़गे साहब ने ये कहा है?
किसने शुरू किया था? प्रधानमंत्री जी की राजनीतिक अभ्युदय के बाद उनके प्रति कटु शब्द, सामाजिक तनाव वाला शब्द किसी ने शुरू किया था? जिन्होंने शुरू किया था उनको खुश करते हैं, इसमें कुछ पूछने की क्या बात है? आपने खुद उसको उत्तर दिया, खून की दलाली, मौत की सौदागर, मोदी तेरा कब्र खुदेंगे। मोदी की नीति गलत हो सकती है, आपकी आलोचना की पूरा अधिकार आपको है, जनता उसको तय करेगी कि मोदी की नीति गलत है या सही है। लेकिन आप उनको आलोचना की बजाय आप उनको निंदित करोगे, आप उनको नीचा दिखाओगे। क्यों? देश के प्रजातंत्र में एक सामान्य घर की व्यक्ति आज देश की आस्था जीत रहा है। आप जैसे वो बड़े खानदान से नहीं है, वो गोल्डन स्पून के साथ जन्म नहीं हुए हैं। उनकी माँ दूसरों के घर में बर्तन मांजती थी, उनकी पिताजी बाजार में चाय बिक्री करते थे। उस पृष्ठभूमि की व्यक्ति जब आजादी की 75 साल की समय में देश की लोगों की आस्था प्रकट पा रही है, इसमें आपकी असहिष्णुता है। इसलिए आपने आपका संयम खोक के कुछ भी बोलते हो आपकी नेताओं को खुश करने के लिए। यही एक समीक्षा, यही एक समझ आती है।
धर्मेंद्र जी, जब भी पर्सनल अटैक हुआ है प्राइम मिनिस्टर के खिलाफ 2007 से हम देखें, उसके बाद जो चुनाव रहा है उसमें भाजपा ने बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म किया है, क्योंकि शायद वो पर्सनल अटैक कभी भी एडवांटेज कांग्रेस नहीं हो सकता है, जो हम लोगों ने 2007 के बाद जितने चुनाव हुए उसमें देखा है। तो क्या ये टर्निंग पॉइंट माना जा रहा है इस चुनाव का? भाजपा इसको क्या टर्निंग पॉइंट देख रही है?
देखिए, मारिया जी, मैं क्षमा चाहूँगा, मैं उसको बिल्कुल राजनीति से जोड़ के नहीं देखता हूँ। मैं भारत की प्रजातंत्र की गति के दिशा क्या है उसमें चिंतित हूँ। देश की प्रमुख पार्टी के पास, प्रमुख विपक्षी पार्टी के पास प्रिंसिपल ओपोजिशन, जो दशकों तक देश और राज्यों में शासन किया है, जिम्मेवारी निभाई है, उनके मुंह से इस प्रकार की शब्द आना, ये राजनीति सिर्फ नहीं है, ये एक अधोपतन है। वो पार्टी की दिशा कहाँ है, गति कहाँ है, कहाँ जाके अटकेंगे? ये लोग कभी, ये विषय सिर्फ राजनीति का नहीं है, ये कभी देश की बाहर जाके चाइना की प्रशंसा करते हैं, ये देश बाहर जाके भारत की गणतंत्र को, प्रजातंत्र को नीचा दिखाते हैं, भारत की अस्मिता, संप्रभुता के ऊपर सवालिया निशान लगाते हैं। ये वही पार्टी, हमें उसकी चिंता होती है। प्रिंसिपल ओपोजिशन पार्टी अगर दिशाहीन हो जाए और उनकी नेतृत्व अगर किसी के दबाव में अनप शनप बोले, ये देश की प्रजातंत्र के लिए सही नहीं है। ये हमारी चिंता है। ये चुनाव तो एक अवसर है, ये चुनाव के अंदर हो गया दुर्भाग्य से। मैं उसको वोट के साथ नहीं देखता हूं।
ओके मिस्टर प्रधान, जो सफाई दिया है खरगे साहब ने, उन्होंने कहा है कि ये जो बयान था वो प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी के लिए नहीं बोल रहे थे वो, और उनका मतलब था कि बीजेपी की विचारधारा सांप की तरह है।
देखिए, मैं आज उनके बयान को, मैं हूँ बेंगलुरु में, उनके बयान को मैंने बड़े तन्मयता के साथ देखा है। मैं कन्नड़ समझ पाता हूँ थोड़ा थोड़ा। मैं मेरे कन्नड़गी मित्रों को बिठा के उनकी शब्द, एक एक शब्द का मैंने समझा है। ये खड़गे साहब से मैं एक ही शब्द कहूँगी, खड़गे साहब, ये आपकी मन की बात नहीं है, आप ऐसे नहीं कहना चाहिए था। आप हमारी एक प्रकार से देश की राजनीति में आपका एक गार्डियन वाला रोल है, अभिभावक वाला रोल है। आपकी सामाजिक पृष्ठभूमि, आपकी जिंदगी की मेहनत हम जानते हैं। आप नहीं कहें, इतने बड़े व्यक्ति को मैं तू में नहीं जाऊंगा। उन्होंने कन्नड़ में स्पष्टता के साथ कहा है, देश की मीडिया ने उसको दिखाया है, कर्नाटक की मीडिया ने उनको दिखाया है। आप कह के पलट जाना ये आपकी तरीका हो सकता है, लेकिन आपने जो कहा, देश दुनिया ने उसको आज देखा है।
मिस्टर प्रधान, जब चाय वाला बयान आया तो भाजपा ने उसको एक कैंपेन के फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट किया था। जब चौकीदार चोर है बोला गया तो हमने देखा उसके बाद क्या हुआ था 2019 के चुनाव में। क्योंकि आप वहाँ पे इलेक्शन इंचार्ज हैं भाजपा के, मुझे ये जानना है कि इस बयान को आप देखते हैं, ऑफ कोर्स इट्स अ न्यू लो इन पॉलिटिक्स एंड पॉलिटिकल डिस्कोर्स, व्हाट नेक्स्ट फॉर द बीजेपी सर?
No, it's not for BJP, it's for Congress. They have to introspect. They have to rethink their new course. They have to ponder over what they are doing, what they are contributing to the politics of this country. We never do all such things. हमारी राजनीतिक असहमति है, हमारी कुछ मुद्दे के ऊपर उनके साथ असहमत है, लेकिन ये जो तरीका कांग्रेस पार्टी ने विशेष करके पिछले 15-20 सालों में अपनाई है, श्रीमती सोनिया गांधी जी की नेतृत्व जब कांग्रेस में आई, तब से जो शब्दावली उन्होंने विशेष करके देश के प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के ऊपर उन्हें असहिष्णुता से, इनटॉलरेंसी के कारण, फ्यूडल माइंडसेट के कारण उन्होंने जो एक शब्द सब उनके ऊपर लगाया है, आप जिसके बारे में मैं भी उचित नहीं माना उसको कहने के लिए, जो आप एक वरिष्ठ पत्रकार के नाते आपने उसको वर्णन किया, मैं उसको जुबान में भी नहीं लाना चाहता हूँ। उनके संस्कार उनके लिए, उनकी राजनीतिक सोच समझ उनकी जगह पे, हम अपने प्रतिबद्धता के साथ जाएंगे। हम इसको कभी चुनाव में भुनाने वाला मुद्दा नहीं मानते हैं। ये देश की प्रजातंत्र में, दिस इज, आई एग्री विथ यू, दिस इज अ न्यू लॉ बाय कांग्रेस पार्टी टू इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स।
माय लास्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू मिस्टर प्रधान, क्योंकि आप वहाँ पर इतने वीक से हैं, इतने महीने से वहीं पर हैं। कल एक स्टेटमेंट आया है सिद्धरामैया जी का, उनका कहना है कि आरक्षण को 75% कांग्रेस कर देगी अगर वो सरकार में आएगी। तो आपकी क्या काउंटर स्ट्रैटेजी होगी? कल इस तरह का उनका स्टेटमेंट और आज इस तरह का बयान, क्या ये एक्ट ऑफ डेस्परेशन है?
देखिए, इसके आपने सही कहा कि कर्नाटक में अपने अपने मुद्दे पे हम चुनाव लड़ रहे हैं। माननीय सिद्धरामैया जी को 5 साल इस प्रदेश की मुख्यमंत्री रहने का अवसर मिला। उन्होंने क्या किया 2013 से 18, कर्नाटक की जनता उसकी साक्षी है। जिन्होंने देश भर में पिछले 75 सालों में 1% कहीं SC ST की रिजर्वेशन नहीं बढ़ाई है, वे आज घड़ियाली आंसू बहा रहे हैं और ये लोग असत्य बात कह रहे हैं कि हम 75% कर देंगे। कर्नाटक की भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार ने, बोम्मई जी की नेतृत्व में कैबिनेट ने एक ऐतिहासिक निर्णय किया। SC समाज को 15 से 17% बढ़ाया, ST समाज को 3 से 4% बढ़ाया। समूचा 6% SC ST समाज की आबादी के हिसाब से पूरा प्रक्रिया को पूरा करते हुए कर्नाटक सरकार ने निर्णय लिया। इसी में कांग्रेस पार्टी की घबराहट हुई है। मेरे को यहाँ कुछ राजनीतिक बंधु मिले थे पिछले कुछ दिनों में। खरगे साहब के ऊपर लोगों ने प्रश्न उठाया, आखिर खरगे साहब को पिछले बार किसने पराजय करवाया? कलबुर्गी लोकसभा में उनको पराजय क्यों स्वीकार करना पड़ा? लोगों को ज़्यादा समय, सिद्धरामैया साहब पिछले बार 2-2 जगह से चुनाव लड़े थे, क्यों हारे एक जगह पे वो चुनाव। ये सब प्रमाणित करता है कि लोगों को आप बेवकूफ़ नहीं बना पाओगे, आपके पास कोई मुद्दा नहीं है, आपके पास कोई पॉलिसी नहीं है, आपके पास कॉन्ट्रडिक्शंस है। इसीलिए आप अपशब्द, गाली गुलज, किसी को अंडरमाइन करना, सेंसेशनलाइज करना, इस मुद्दे में आप पहुंच चुके हो। ये आपको फायदा नहीं देगा।
All right, Dharmendra Pradhan, thank you so much for your time. That was Karnataka BJP in charge, Dharmendra Pradhan, joining us straight from Bengaluru. He's in the middle of the entire campaign strategy and planning. Let me go back to the guests who continue to be with us. Rahul Verma, election after election, we have seen this doesn't work. Any attack against the Prime Minister doesn't work. Why would you attack the Prime Minister? Why would a veteran politician who comes from the state of Karnataka, like Mr. Kharge, attack the Prime Minister?
Thank you, Maria, for this question. I don't know whether I have an answer to it because, I don't know why Mr. Kharge did this. And he has certainly apologized and had clarified his statement. But you're absolutely right. What we have seen in the past, that any sort of attack, and especially personal attack on the Prime Minister, hasn't worked for the Congress party. It has backfired in many states, and so it doesn't make sense, given the popularity of the Prime Minister, to personally attack him. I don't think this is out of any desperation. The Karnataka Congress is a well-machined organization. It is well placed to challenge the BJP in this election. But perhaps like all humans, politicians just go on length when they speak and forget what they say or not say can have serious consequences. So I don't want to say this.
What are you sensing as a political analyst and someone who deals with numbers, Rahul? What consequences can the Congress actually face?
It depends, right? It's not that only Congress politicians make comment on Prime Minister or BJP leaders. BJP leaders also make similar comments at many times, right? Like we have seen Rahul Gandhi being called Pappu or Shehzada and other things. See, so some of these things happen in almost every election, people being called names. In UP election, Akhilesh was called names and Yogi Adityanath was called names. So it largely depends on political parties, how they manage to, create a campaign out of it. BJP successfully managed or continues to do that when Prime Minister is attacked, right? Okay. When Prime Minister is attacked,
yes, we have seen, Chaukidar Chor hai, that statement that happened,
but
then Chai Wala.
Like,
so something goes wrong and the point being made here by Mr. Pradhan and also by Sanju Verma was that it has not worked. And we have statistics to talk about it. Bhavya, I'm coming to you. What I fail to understand is, and the BJP is now linking that statement to Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party is first family. Will Rahul Gandhi now come in the front?
I hope I'll be given enough time to present my points here, yes, because I was put off last time.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So first thing, how about Mr. Narendra Modi calling names? When it comes to Miss Sonia Gandhi, he called her Congress ki vidwa, Jersey cow, and his other comments on women like Shurpanaka in Parliament. What about all that? He didn't even apologize for those things.
Sonia Gandhi used the term mosque ka saudagar for the Prime Minister. You should be ashamed of yourself.
That's my point, because I didn't get enough time to present.
Use the term mosque ka saudagar for Prime Minister Modi.
Okay, one moment. Sanju, let her finish her point. I'm coming to you, Sanju. Sanju, I'm coming to you.
Mr. Amit Shah came to Karnataka and made a communal statement. He said if Congress comes to power, there will be riots. For a central home minister to make a statement like this, we have registered a complaint against him here. Along with that, we have registered a petition with the Election Commission, and the hearing will be tomorrow. The other thing is, Prime Minister speaks, he mocks.
What has D.K. Shivakumar done for the people of Karnataka? What has Mallikarjun Kharge done for the people of Karnataka? Tell me five things. Tell me five things that Siddaramaiah did for the people of Karnataka when he was the chief minister. Tell me 5 things that Mallikarjun Kharge did for the people of Karnataka when he was the Karnataka Congress chief. Tell me 5 things that D.K. Shivakumar has done now that he is the Karnataka Congress chief. Your D.K. Shivakumar is facing trial in a 700 crore money laundering case under the PMLA. So you should be the last person to sit here and give me a bhashan on political propriety, morality.
I am not
Why have you not expelled D.K. Shivakumar? D.K. Shivakumar is facing trial. Why did you give him a ticket from Kanakapura? Why did you give D.K. Shivakumar a ticket from Kanakapura knowing very well that he is involved in a corruption case to the tune of 700 crores?
The little girl committed suicide.
In honesty. You believe in truthfulness. You believe in imandari. You believe in imandari.
One moment. Sanju Verma, I want to understand from you, is this an attempt, there is a view, Bhavya, there is a view from within the Congress that there is an attempt to sabotage these elections. Who is trying to sabotage this election from within the Congress party, Bhavya?
Who's giving you all these?
No, I'm asking you, ma'am. I'm asking you. Please go ahead.
The problem here is this has become a one-sided debate, and I'm not given enough time.
Please, ma'am, go ahead. I'm asking you, ma'am. Yes.
Let's not deviate the issue. Let me address this issue first.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Why is Narendra Modi not being held responsible for using derogatory words against Miss Sonia Gandhi, against Manmohan Singh? He uses words like Shurpanaka to a female leader. He uses words like 50 crore girlfriend. He uses words like Jersey cow, and none of this is held accountable.
Okay. Sanju, will you respond? Why are BJP leaders not held accountable for the statements that they make?
Now, if this lady has finished ranting, I will speak, Maria, because you have taken her on a single window, and I need that.
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, please ask this lady to keep quiet. Madam, please shut up.
Yes. Go ahead, Sanju.
Please quiet now.
Go ahead, Sanju.
Thank you. And Maria, now I don't wish to be heckled because she's made some serious allegations. Point number 1. The Congress party says that why did Amit Shah say that, if the Congress comes to power, there will be riots. Let me remind the Congress, the 1987 Hashimpur riots, the 1989 Bhagalpur riots, the 2006 Aligarh riots, the 2008 Dhule riots, the 2010 Kokrajhar riots, the 2011 Bharatpur riots, even the 2012 Azad Maidan riots, and the 2013 Muzaffarnagar riots. When did all these riots happen, madam? When the Congress was in power in the center. So please read and come before you rabble-rouse on national television. Point number 2. Thanks today to the double-engine Sarkar of the Modi government. Prime Minister Modi was the first leader in 41 years to visit the sugar-rich Mandya belt. These people are now talking about Mandya. For 40 years, Mandya ki yaad nahi aayi kisi ko? Point number 3. Be it the 119-kilometer Bengaluru-Mysore Expressway, be it the Bangalore-Chennai-Mysore Vande Bharat Expressway, be it the Terminal 2 of the Kempengowda International Airport, or be it the Mysore-Kushalnagar Highway. Look at the sheer amount of infrastructure development under Prime Minister Modi. We don't need to rabble-rouse to garner votes. And I'm telling you this today, that all the political pundits who have been writing off the BJP, calling us 40% commission Sarkar, we had the guts to not give K. Ishwarappa a ticket.
Okay.
Does Congress have the guts to expel D.K. Shivakumar? They have been mollycoddling him and they gave him a ticket.
Okay, quick response from you. Go ahead. Bhavya, quick response from you.
Yeah, can I speak?
Yes.
Yeah. So no matter how much they try to blow this issue out of proportion, even after Mr. Kharge has given a statement, we all know what kind of words Mr. Narendra Modi has used against women.
Bhavya, my limited point is that so far the Congress party's campaign, ma'am, had been very measured. They tried to make it about local issues. Why would Mr. Kharge go in a tangent of this nature and get drawn into anything which is directly targeted against Prime Minister? I'm just trying to understand.
He's given a very simple clarification that he was speaking about the ideology that is in Mr. Narendra Modi's mind and the RSS and BJP's mind.
No, but he went ahead and regretted it. He has apologized. The fact that he has apologized means that he's made a wrong statement.
Can you please repeat?
In the Gujarat elections, run up to the Gujarat elections, he called the Prime Minister Ravan. Now he calls the Prime Minister poisonous snake. Is this not some kind of hatred that is at display here?
During elections and standing inside a parliament, Prime Minister uses words like Surpanakha. He calls the Congress president as Congress ki vidwa. He uses words like jersey cow.
That was said, no, that wasn't said in parliament. I agree there is a problem in the statements. But ma'am, I'm just trying to understand what has gone horribly wrong now. Rahul Verma, are you seeing this as a turning point? The BJP says that this is a turning point in these elections. What was so far seen as an advantage Congress election, is this the turning point?
It may become a turning point. But you know, like BJP has been certainly on back foot in Karnataka election, and that this current issue gives BJP a lease of life to turn the election in its favor. But will it succeed or not? That's a different question. See, I think what we are witnessing here, this name calling and using such sort of like words against each other in politics has been there for very, very long, right? Sadly, it has become part of a normal political discourse which happens during elections, especially during election, and sometimes even in parliament. So some of these things can only become a sort of turning point if the party, for example, BJP, manages to build a campaign on it. It's not every time possible to build a campaign on it. Now, some people, at least in case of West Bengal election, would say that because Prime Minister Modi in one of his speeches called Mamata Banerjee Didi or Didi in a very derogatory way, that turned the election. So you could use, I don't think some of these statements have hurt the Congress party. They have been targeted against Prime Minister Modi, but those statements alone don't turn the election, right? Okay. Or didn't turn the elections. Okay. There were other issues on which the campaign was built, and this was an additional factor.
Is this the oxygen or the much needed lease of life that the BJP was looking for, Sanju Verma?
Okay, Maria, I think that's a very important and a very interesting question. But before coming to that, let me just say that the Congress panelists said that the Prime Minister called Renuka Chaudhary Surpanakha. No, please go and see the entire video clip. He never used the word Surpanakha even once. If you are hallucinating, that is your problem. And if Renuka Chaudhary is hallucinating, that is her problem. Now let me come to the moot point. Maria, if you notice, in every election, please keep quiet, please shut up.
Okay.
Maria,
okay.
You
Sanju, yes, 20 seconds I have for you, Sanju Verma. Go ahead, yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am. Yes.
Maria, please ask this lady to keep quiet.
Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you. Maria, in every election, even the last election, when the BJP got 104 seats, we increased the tally by 64 and the Congress actually reduced its tally by 42 seats, having got only 80. You notice the vote share difference is normally 1.5 to 2%. And the Congress has always managed to get more vote share than the BJP, particularly in Karnataka, but it has never been able to translate that extra 2% vote share into sizable number of seats. And I think this time it will be a redux of what happened in 2018. The BJP will not only get more seats, but we will also get higher vote share.
Okay. Let's wait for 13th now. Sanju Verma, Bhavya and Rahul Verma, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, the Congress party has given a twister ahead of the Karnataka elections, with former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah announcing that if the Congress comes to power, the party will remove the quota cap at 50% and raise it to 75% as per population. What are the legal dynamics surrounding this pitch? Joining me is Justice Santosh Hegde, former Supreme Court judge and Karnataka Lokayukta. Mr. Justice Hegde, really appreciate your time. This is a promise which has been made in the middle of a heated campaigned to increase a reservation limit from 50 to 75 based on population, as you would have seen Mr. Siddaramaya's comment. Is this legally tenable?
It's impossible. The Supreme Court has already held any reservation over and above 50% is unconstitutional because it violates Article 14 of the Constitution of India. Reservation is meant for a certain class of people who had certain problems in getting qualifications, and because of that, to help them out from that problem, it was the reservation was brought in. It is not brought in to help the politicians to get votes, and that's exactly what is happening today and all. You see, in 1946, in the Constituent Assembly, Babasaheb Ambedkar says a class of people in this country have suffered from want of education because of social boycottness and all. Because of that, they were not in a position to compete with others who had access to education. Therefore, the jobs in the government are not available to those classes of people who have suffered from social boycott. So he pleaded that to give some reservation for a limited period of 10 years only, and that too for two classes of people, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, who were admittedly had certain social problems in having education and competing with other sections of the society. And that 10 years is over for 1960. We are thereafter been, I think, over 50 years now and all. You have not been able to bring them to the level of others and all in this country. Are the politicians admitting that they have failed to bring them to the level of others in this country? Let them first admit it, then ask for reservations. Today, reservations are being promised only to get vote of those class of people. What about others? There are poor people in other classes also. They struggle. They go to schools and colleges, and they get qualified to be considered for a job in the state and the government job. But then they are now being deprived of the promises that is being made by the politician. What is reservation? If 75% of the seats are reserved for certain class of people, what is left for the meritorious people? But the fault is there in the sense, as anticipated, those people who suffered from social boycott have not come to the level of others because of some other reason. That is because benefit of reservation is taken by the people belonging to that caste, but who have overcome that problem, got themselves into all big jobs in the state administration. Today, the benefit of reservation goes to the children of ministers, MLAs, MPs, judges, IAS officers, IPS officers, and such like people belonging to that community.
Okay.
The others who are doing the other jobs there, they don't get this benefit at all.
Justice Hegde, if this is legally untenable, and we have seen such promises being made by multiple political parties, multiple state governments also, and also look at the redistribution of quota that was, promised by the Boumai government, which has been put a stay on by the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court finds it flawed. Why do you think this becomes a hot button issue before elections?
They're making other promises like free electricity, free pension, and all sorts of monetary benefits and other promises are being made, which is likely to ruin the economy of this country. Look at the promises. They don't think about the country at all. They only think in terms of they're getting elected. And of course, many of them forget those promises that are made thereafter and all, after the elections are over and all. But just see what exactly happened. Now we are talking about reservation. Now, if really the reservation is confined to people who have been denied the access to education and other things, then it should be given to people of the communities mentioned in the reservation list and all, who do not have the benefit of having got this job in the earlier selections and all. Therefore, according to me, people, the children of IAS officers, IPS officers, judges of the all categories of judges and politicians, they should be kept out of this reservation. Absolutely. And give the benefit to those people who have not had the benefit of reservation at least once in their lifetime. Then alone it will reach the bottom. Yes. Otherwise, it won't reach the bottom at all. Because a scavenger's son doesn't get a chance of going to a tutorial college for getting trained for the examination. He doesn't have that money with the thing at all. Though he belongs to the caste.
Unfortunate at the same time, Justice Hegde, my last question to you. 75 years of India's independence, and we continue to talk about reservation in the manner in which it is being done in Karnataka. We see that this is not really driven by economic backwardness, but pure political calculations by the whims and fancies of politicians who are looking at it based purely on caste calculations, the arithmetic around elections.
It looks like it today. It is based on the likelihood of that community which gets the reservation will vote for them, the party which has made these promises and all. What is reservation? Reservation is an exception to the rule of equality, which is promised under Article 14 of the Constitution of India. An exception cannot be the rule. When you give it more than 50%, doesn't it become a rule? Therefore, the meritorious people are an exception in the society from the day Siddaramaiah comes to power. So there should be a reservation in their favor.
All right. All right. Justice Hegde, really appreciate your time and thank you for explaining the nuances and various aspects of that announcement that has been made by the Congress party yesterday. Shifting focus now to another story. There is a political tussle in the state of Kerala over the film The Kerala Story, based on the alleged disappearance of 32,000 women in the state, who were allegedly brainwashed, lured and converted by Muslim radicals to be deployed for ISIS terror missions in India and abroad, as well as serve as ISIS brides. Producer Vipul Shah has said the film revolves around the story of 4 such women and involved a lot of research, calling it an attempt to bring out the truth before the world. However, the Congress has called for a ban on the movie, accusing the filmmakers of spreading misinformation. Congress leader and leader of opposition in the Kerala Assembly, V.D. Satheeshan, has said that the film aims to tarnish the image of Kerala, adding that misinformation will lead to communal problems. But the BJP has defended the movie, saying it portrays the rapid Islamization of Kerala, adding that love jihad is real and dangerous. The movie is set for release early next month, but has already drawn the political battle lines. So the big question that I wish to ask on News Epicenter, is this movie a depiction of reality or propaganda? Nasir Abdullah is the actor. We have Rahul Ishwar, author and activist. Why protest cinema? Let the people decide whether it's propaganda, Nasir Abdullah, or reality. Nasir Abdullah, you have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Great, thanks. So here's the deal. I can't for the life of me understand that 32,000 women have gone missing from a state of India, and nobody knows about this except a gentleman who's made this film. And before he made this film, the matter should have been with the police, with the security agencies to investigate what the hell is going on. And if it is true, my God, it's a crazy a scandal. And I obviously do not approve of anything like that happening anywhere in the world, even in India. But
Nasir Abdullah, did Vipul Shah say that this is a documentary? He's saying that this is a work of fiction. Then why are you, talking specifically about 32,000?
No. So if it's a work of fiction, then there is no need for any friction. We are okay. People don't need to fight it.
But people are fighting. Why is the Congress party reacting?
No. That is because they don't have anything else to do. Maybe, I don't know. But obviously they find it a silly idea that 32,000 women will be converted, asked to handle a machine gun and go and fight for Islam. How idiotic is it? You're making God look like he's some impotent being. I mean, does God need us to hold an AK-47 and defend Islam? How stupid is that?
You know, much before Rahul Ishwar, the film has been released, it has generated this furore. We know what happened. We know how the NIA investigated these cases and did come to the conclusion that there is a lot of fiction in these claims. And then we have seen what happened in the context of love jihad, how it was dismantled by the Supreme Court. Then, if anything, the politicians should be saying and dismissing it as fiction rather than making it the political talking point the way the BJP and likes of other groups are doing it as.
Marriage, 3 submissions. 1, Kerala is one of the most harmonious and pluralistic states of India. We are proud of it. Hindu, Muslim, Christian, all live in harmony. Second, I refuse to use words like love jihad because that is offensive for our Muslim brothers. Having said that, the third submission is there were cases of forced conversion. For example, Nimisha Fatima or Sonia Sebastian. They are now languishing in Afghan jails or somewhere where our agencies even don't know where they are. There are instances of nearly 100 people joining ISIS that is documented by agencies, that is being given out by Kerala's Communist Chief Minister, Comrade Sri Pinarayi Vijayan G2. So there is an issue. Yes, we can debate about the number 32,000, but there needs to be a debate. There is an issue of Islamist politics and that strand in Kerala. Kerala is also home to some great Muslim organizations like Indian Union Muslim League and evolving Jamaat-e-Islami, a very progressive MES. But there is a strand of Islamism that has caused problem in Kerala, that has created havoc, that has induced forced conversions, that has recruited people to ISIS. Let us not close our eyes towards that. We can debate on numbers, but there is an underlying reality that
a film depiction of this nature really talk about the Islamization which is evident in Kerala now? How will it really help?
There are 2 points, ma'am. One, see, the words like Islamization is problematic. See, we all love Islam.
Then let's say radicalization.
But I take fast for Ramzan. But Islamist politics is an issue. For example, people's hands have been chopped off. The Islamist radicals have killed people, forcibly converted. People were recruited to Afghanistan, Syria. So these are all documented facts that we cannot close our eyes to. Yes, the numbers can be debated, but the underlying reality is there. That is called forced conversion. That's the reason why we are arguing for anti-forced conversion law. Mahatma Gandhi wanted it nearly 80 years ago. We need to have an anti-forced conversion law to check such kind of issues. And we cannot ignore the realities of Nimisha Fatima or Sonia Sebastian that are still not there in Kerala.
And Nasir Abdullah, you know, here on CNN News 18 also, we did come out with a, fact check, or should we say an investigation from Kerala, where those who had traveled for ISIS have now become police witnesses. So the ISIS threat is a real one. How is it that this radicalization and brushing it under the carpet will really help? The time has also come for the community to acknowledge it and do course correction to ensure that these girls are given proper education and they realize the ramifications of these moves. Mr. Abdullah, if you can hear me.
You know what? I've heard this sort of happening in various Western...
You have to tilt your camera. Yes, Nasir Abdullah, if you can hear me, please go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you. So here's the deal. Stuff has happened. There have been from England and these Muslim, whatever, women totally they have nothing else to do. They get easily excited about doing this. And there have been actually cases of women, leaving the country and joining the ISIS and all that. And it's a fact. It has happened. But to this extent, I can't believe.
So will you watch this film or not? Nasir Abdullah, will you boycott this film or will you watch it?
I will watch it. What's the big deal?
That's where it ends. Nasir Abdullah and good cinema should be watched. And let's see what happens in the next few days in the run-up to this film release. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nasir Abdullah and Rahul Ishwar. We're slipping into a short break. Up next, latest in the investigation into the Dantewada attack. That after we return. Stay.
Raipur. I'm not in Chhattisgarh today. I'm in Bhopal with my family. But the information that has come in that this blast took place at about 12:45 in the afternoon. After the group was returning from a exchange of fire with the Naxalites. This is about 45 kilometers south of Dantewada, which is the district headquarters. And it was a convoy of vehicles. This was not a single vehicle. There's not just 10 people. There were 10 people in the civilian vehicle, of course camouflaged, who were affected by the IED blast and who were martyred. 10 police personnel and one driver, civilian driver. All local boys, all district force boys, I think. All of them were tribal boys. And Yadav, I think, was the driver. So we lost these 11 people today, very sadly.
But these personnel were traveling in a vehicle instead of going on foot, Mr. Deo. They used the same route twice, which is again not the SOP. So why were the standard operating procedures not followed?
I am really not aware of the geographical terrain there. Were there other routes available? Were they not available? I am frankly not aware of that. And there are suggestions given in these SOPs that you could take another route, etc. But if there is one route going in and one route going out, you don't have an option. I am frankly not aware of that, so I cannot really speak authoritatively on that. And this is a tar road they were traveling on, a road which was tarred about 4 or 5 years back. They had gone by this route and they were returning by this route, which is true. And they could have used bikes, they could have been on foot, but any number of other operations in a similar fashion may not have met this sad fate today. But there has been loss of life today. They would be looking into the matter and trying to see whether there was any slip-up.
It on the face of it looks like there were slip-ups because the SOPs were not followed. But Mr. Dev, with whom does the buck stop over today's incident? Who's responsible for 10 lives lost?
Everyone. Nobody can really shirk responsibility, bottom up, top down. Everybody is involved in the entire process of management and governance. So you cannot really put the buck on any one person. It is a system that we function in. The central government forces are there, their intelligence is there, the state government forces are there, their intelligence is there, government is there, administration is there, the police forces are there. So it's not any one person, but whenever a tragedy takes place, it is best to face up together. And if there is a matter of responsibility, not put it on anybody else's shoulder. Everybody, all of us must take the responsibility.
It's 11 lives lost, 10 Jawans and the driver. Someone has to be accountable. According to data provided by the CRPF earlier this year, incidents of violent Maoist attacks in Chhattisgarh dropped by 77% in 2022 compared to 2010. But the incidents of killings were increasing. Is the Chhattisgarh government ready for a return of red terror?
See, they are there. Nobody is denying that Naxalites are not present. When the state of Chhattisgarh was formed, we had, let us say, 5 battalions of paramilitary forces. Today, we have probably more than 60. We are aware that a large area has been sort of cleared or taken under control, though Naxalites could be just about anywhere. They could be in Delhi, they could be in Bhopal, they could be in Raipur, they could be in any city. They are not limited to any one track. But where the activities could have been seen as unchecked, those areas have been fairly limited now. And last, I talked to senior police officials while I was in Jagdalpur. They mentioned an area of, let us say, 40 by 100 kilometers that needed to be taken care of further. So it's a very difficult task, very difficult terrain, almost uninhabited, very difficult to deal with it, undulating, forests and jungles and streams. Many of the areas are unapproachable. And in that, it is a process where gradually things are moving towards greater control of the state machinery. It's not as if they have the run of the ground. They can do whatever they want. It is not quite like that. Things have improved, but we need to go much further ahead where Naxal activity or their presence is eliminated. So we are a little distant still from there.
Mr. Tia Singh Dev, thank you for speaking with us and making the time here at CNN News 18. But there, like you said, there is a lot more that needs to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, the reality is that they need to get it right only once. Our security forces and the establishment has to get it right every single time. And another aspect, it's not at the line of control. It's not in Jammu and Kashmir. It's not at the line of actual control or LAC. It's not in the northeast. It's in these jungles. It's to red terror that we are losing the maximum number of soldiers, our Jawans, our personnel. Now, shouldn't there be a stop to this? The big question. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, former DG Infantry with us, Major General Dhruv Katoch, Director India Foundation, and PK Mishraji, former ADG BSF with us. Namaste and Jai Hind, gentlemen. It tears your heart to talk on the fact that we've lost 11 lives. We've lost people in the line of duty who are doing their jobs. But were they sitting ducks? Were they sitting ducks, PK Mishraji?
Yes, I can well tell you, definitely they were sitting.
A day after the deadly Naxal attack in Chhattisgarh's Dantewada, investigation teams have recovered the trigger of the AED used in the attack. Intel sources have told CNN News 18 that a tunnel had been dug below the road and packed with explosives, adding that industrial explosives for coal mining are suspected to have been used. 10 soldiers of the district reserve guard along with a driver were killed in this attack. The team was on a combing operation in the Aranpur district when the blast occurred. The hunt for the attackers is still underway.
घटनास्थल पे एक नक्सलियों के साथ मुठभेड़ हुआ, एक नक्सली घायल हुआ और एक नक्सली को पकड़ लिए और घायल नक्सली और जो जिन्हें गिरफ्तार किया गया था उसको लेकर वापस आ रहे थे। बस हमारे DRG के जवान और एक सिविलियन की शहादत हुई। ये लड़ाई और लड़ी जाएगी। जहाँ भी नक्सली की होने की सूचना मिलेगी, हमारे जवान अब घेर के उनके साथ मुठभेड़ कर रहे हैं, लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं।
Group of DRG men went to Aranpur 24 hours before the blast happened in Dantewada. They claimed that there was encounter with Naxals. Even a few suspected Naxals were taken into custody, who have now been brought to Dantewada is what we hear. So after all of this happened, the group was coming back, and the road where this incident happened, the road where the blast happened, so on this main road, when this DRG group traveled, why was there no road opening party? That's the first violation of the standard operating procedure that is being questioned. Second, after this operation was over, this Naxal operation in which they claim to have taken into custody some suspected Naxals, they were coming back with them. They hired vehicle. The vehicle that was blasted off and one more were hired. They were not police vehicles taken on rent. That's always a risk if police movement that knowledge becomes public. If local villagers get to know about it, there is always a risk that that information will travel to CPI Maoist cadre and there could be an ambush laid out for you. SOP says that when you're traveling for an operation like this,
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. Ladies and gentlemen, as we speak, nearly 1,100 of the 3,000 odd Indians who are wanting to come back home from Sudan are already back home. Yes, Operation Kaveri is in full swing. The homecoming